just 3 decades, and ask the loaded yet pivotal question from venerable management gurus and hard-nosed CEOs. What in fact is business excellence? What are the key attributes of business excellence? How will you describe and define business excellence? A fundamental question. I believe they would have told you that's a simple, straightforward, no-brainer. The answer is business excellence equals performance excellence. If an organization has a portfolio of businesses and brands that have clout and equity in the marketplace, if such businesses and brands have a progressive growth trajectory going forward, if they have an impressive top line, an impressive bottom line, that's it. That's business excellence, meaning performance excellence. Now, if you fast forward just 10 years and ask the same question just 20 years ago, what in fact is business excellence? The gurus and the CEOs would tell you, yes, it's performance excellence, the factors that I mentioned, but that's necessary, but not sufficient. There's another factor that we need to reckon. It's not just performance, but conformance. You need to conform. There are codes of conduct. There's governance, the right thing to do. So that's a second dimension that would help define business excellence. If you fast forward further, just 10 years ago, just a decade ago, maybe 15 perhaps, and ask the same question, the gurus and the CEOs would tell you, yes, it's performance, yes, it's conformance, but now we need to factor in a third vital critical dimension. And what is that? That is contribution. You are a part of this larger societal fabric, and you got to contribute to the society, to the environment. And therefore, a modern definition of business excellence would consist of these 3 factors: performance, conformance, and contribution. This is my point, ladies and gentlemen. There is no triple bottom line. There is no big economic engine profit and 2 other P's, 2 other bottom lines, buttressing, embellishing, and legitimizing the profit, the economic engine. There's only one thing: business excellence, sensible business, sustainable business, which in fact manifests itself in 3 domains: in the organization, in the environment, and in the community. Now, companies that saw it this way, what I call mainstreaming of sustainability, what I call built-in sustainability, as opposed to bolt-on sustainability, won the day tonight. To them, it is a part of their ethos, part of their DNA. It is a holistic, overarching approach to sustainability. Others saw economic engine, the profit as the thing, and then tagged on, bolted on perhaps the other 2, and gave it less emphasis and accent. So this is my point. Companies that did well saw sustainability from a very different, unique perspective. And that's laudable. Now, what can the good applicants learn from the great applicants tonight? I would say, in essence, the great applicants, the big winners tonight, followed a sequential, clear, 4-step process. First, this built-in bolt-on, built-in sustainability thing that I talked about, integrated mainstreaming of sustainability. That was very clearly articulated. Secondly, there was a thoroughgoing analysis of the impacts, the value chain impacts that their businesses created. So, the sustainability ideology, impact analysis, comprehensive, detailed impact analysis, and thirdly and importantly, metrics going forward. the goals, the objectives, and the standards to check and to set. That's the third step. And fourthly and importantly, there was a robust management process that was put in place to monitor, to measure, and to check. So the winners, big winners, had these 4 steps very clearly sequenced. Strategy, impact analysis, goals, and a management system in place to monitor. We used 3 criteria to evaluate your applications, 3 C's if you like. The first one was completeness. That was about coverage. We had 7 sub-criteria under completeness, and we allocated 40% of the total marks for completeness. The second criterion was credibility. And this is the confirmation, the validation, the assurances. And that carried a 40% of the total marks. And thirdly, the presentation, which had 20% of the total marks. 2 simple points to note perhaps. Third-party assurance is something that you need to consider going forward. That lends credence and credibility to your reports. Another simple point is about your layout and presentation. In some reports, there was too much data. It's complex. And in some others, there was too little. It's a difficult, delicate balance that you need to strike. Less is more, but don't make the simple simpler. So the data presentation, what critical data do you need to actually present, is something that you need to consider. But overall, I must say, without any hesitation, the standards have improved phenomenally. I've witnessed this event over the last 4 years, and progress has been very, very impressive. And I must say, well done to all of you. In conclusion, I have this nagging feeling that there is a cynic out there, an avatar, an appellation of Milton Friedman, who will somehow still say, hey, the business of business is business. And Friedman said, if a company is going to focus on social responsibility, there's a direct denial of shareholder rights. Now that kind of critique may still exist, because that was the shareholder perspective that people embrace. But today, we are talking about a stakeholder perspective. There are many reasons why we need to do this. But to my mind, the most compelling one is that when you do well, performance. When you do it right, conformance. And when you do good, contribution, is something that happens. When you do well, you do well. And when you do right, you feel right. And when you do good, you feel good. And I think that's good enough. Thank you, and congratulations. All the very best to you.